One of you commented on my last video asking me to give you an update on the wear and tear of this beautiful Chanel Tweed bag. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. This video is going to be really helpful for anybody looking to buy a tweed bag, and personally I recommend that everybody buys a tweed bag. This is literally one of my favorite bags in my collection because it is tweed and it's so fun and beautiful, and tweed just has such like a specialness about it that leather doesn't have. So anyone looking to buy a tweed bag but is scared, how is it going to age over time, how is it going to damage, how do I take care of it, this video is for you. This video will also be useful for anybody that already owns a tweed bag, whether it's from Chanel or another brand, and they want to know how can they protect it, how can they prevent it from damaging, and essentially how can they keep the bag in really good condition for the longest amount of time possible. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Vivian Vogue and I upload videos about Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Valentino, Dior, all kinds of designer bags, shoes, clothing, you name it. So if that's the kind of content that you like, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below. It would really mean a lot to me. And if you're looking for more daily content along those topics, then please check out my Instagram and my TikTok, which are also Vivian Vogue. The links will be in the description bar below. For those of you that have been subscribed to my YouTube channel for a while, which if you aren't, you should be, this is my Chanel 2020. I can't remember if it's 2020 or 2021 spring summer pink tweed bag. This is literally one of my favorite bags in my entire collection. I feel like I waited like, it was minimum 6 months. I think it might have been like 7 or 8 months, but it definitely was at least 6 months for this bag to come, and she was worth every day of waiting because I'm obsessed with her. I did film an original like unboxing and kind of like a review of the bag, and another video about like the history of Chanel tweed and how to take care of tweed and prevent it from damaging over time. So I will leave the link for those two videos in the description bar below if you want to check those out. But today what I want to talk about is how the bag has held up over the last year or two. Starting off with those who don't know what tweed is. Tweed is essentially a non-leather way of making a bag. There are lots of different ways to make bag. Obviously leather is the most popular, but you know, Prada use a lot of like nylon, which is like that fabric sort of like scuba diving material. It's really water resistant and scratch resistant. Louis Vuitton use canvas, and of course the brand Chanel has always had tweed as one of the house's most coveted fabrics, which originally became famous by Coco Chanel herself, who made the tweed like suits and jackets. So this Chanel bag I have had for over 2 years now. I think I got it in around March of 2020 and we're in September 2022. So I've basically had it for 2.5 years and it is still in literally pristine condition. I'm not just saying that, I'm going to show you. So you can see that I do store it with this little felt piece that the Chanel boutique gave me when I bought it. I don't even know like why I keep it. I think it's just like habit. I just haven't thrown it out and it just looks cute, so I just keep it. I don't really know if there's any benefit. But yeah, I also keep a little luxe shaper inside it to help it maintain its integrity. And this is really important for tweed bags because leather, which is a little bit more sturdy and a little bit more like tough and like strong, I guess tweed, because it is fabric, can sometimes like slouch and bend the same way that all fabric does. So keeping a luxe shaper inside your bag will help make sure that it maintains its shape for longer. I'll give you a really quick overview of the whole bag's condition so you can see that literally nothing has happened in the 2 years that I've had it. I know it looks like it's got all these little scuffy bits here, like you might be like, oh no, see, look, it's fraying. This particular tweed bag has been like that since the day I bought it. I kind of love it, but not all tweed does look like this. I'll show you some images of other tweed bags that are more tightly like knitted and they don't have any frays, so that wouldn't happen. So this actually isn't considered damage to the bag. It's been like this since the day I bought it and it hasn't gotten worse over time. As you can see, there are no bald patches. The tweed is still perfect. You can't see any holes in it. On the corners, it's not scuffed or ripped anywhere. Usually over time, whether it's leather or tweed or fabric or anything, on the corners you get like wear, and when it's a tweed bag or if it's like fur or any other kind of material, you can get like a bald patch. You can also get this with leather though. I'll try to find some photos and insert them, but this has been kept in perfect condition. The inside, this is the chain and it is like a little light pink. It actually hasn't had any color transfer on it anywhere. You see there's no blackness, there's no spots on it throughout the whole chain, which I managed to avoid by basically not wearing this with any dark colored clothing. And that's not specific to tweed, that's just specific to light colored bags. Whether you have a white caviar Chanel classic flap or even like the beige Claire classic flap, I would not wear that with dark clothing or anything that is heavily dyed and new. I did recently buy a new pair of like black denim pants and I put them through the wash like 5 times before I wore them with any of my bags. Because when clothes are new, particularly denim, the dye is really pigmented and like hasn't washed out. And so even if I was wearing it with like a black Chanel bag, you might get color transfer. And I know you think, how does black transfer to black? But it does, because the shade of black is not the exact same shade as your black bag. So it could still like stain it, and then you have like a weird patch on your bag that's like a slightly different color to the rest of your bag. So just be really careful in general with all bags, whether it's black, whether it's light, whether it's leather, nylon, tweed, what you wear it with, because you don't want to get any like rubbing of fabrics or colors or dye. As you can see, even the back pocket, which I often put like receipts in here, so I'm always like rubbing against this bit. None of this tweed here is like bolding or separating. I know you can see a lot of fraying on the bag, like all these little like loose threads here that are kind of sticking up. Again, that's part of the bag's design. They had a jacket that also had the same design. I'll try and put some photos in. And that was actually one of the reasons that I love this bag even more, because when you have a really tight knitted tweed like any of these, where it doesn't have any fraying, like it's been designed to not have fraying, when the bag over time starts to fray or the tweed becomes a little bit like looser, just the fabric gets more relaxed, and it might like separate more, not be as like tight knitted, then on a bag like that you're really gonna see it, because it doesn't have that like built into the bag. Whereas I thought this bag was genius, and I don't know if Chanel like intentionally thought of this or they just liked the way that it looked, because it already brand new came with like little threads like loose on it, and that's like, it's meant to look a little bit distressed. When the bag ages over time, if it does become like a little bit looser or threads do come loose, it's literally going to blend into the fabric of the bag and you're not going to be able to see it like a defect. So I thought that was genius, and one of the other reasons that I really love this tweed. Obviously I'm going to take care of it as well as I can, and I think I've done a really good job for 2 years. But if a thread does come loose over time, it's literally going to blend in with the bag and look like it's meant to be that way. As for the inside of the bag, it is fully made out of leather. I also have a base shaper in it, and that's just because, again, with fabric it is less sturdy than leather, so when you put heavy things in here it can start to droop, and I don't want my bags to do that. But it is fully leather. There's no tweed in here, so I guess you don't really need to know any of like the maintenance about the inside, because this video is specifically about how the tweed has held up over 2 years. But even for like, it's pink, I haven't had any color dye. You can see there's no black, there's no stains on the inside. So I think overall this bag is in great condition, and I have worn this bag to death over the last 2 years that I've had it. Like, I reckon I wear it at least once a week. This particular Chanel tweed is made out of 3 different colors. I don't know if my camera will pick it up. I'll try and insert some more detailed photos. It's got essentially a light pink, a lilac purple, and a white. So those are the 3 fabrics, and I think it's just like wool or cotton. I don't know what it is, but essentially just like 3 materials going through it. I've seen other Chanel bags that have like ribbon going through it, like this one. That's a beautiful tweed bag from a couple of years ago, and I've seen other Chanel bags that have like 7 or 10 or 12 different colors of tweed going through it. So this one's quite basic in the fact that it has 3. I don't know if that makes the bag more or less sturdy. I don't really think the integrity of a tweed bag really matters too much, depending on how many different fabrics in the tweed are needed into it, because they still like use the same process for sewing and creating the bag regardless of how many colors are in it. So for that one really specific follower that left a comment on one of my other videos asking me to make an update about this bag and showing how it's worn over time, the short answer is it's worn perfectly. There's no bold marks, there's no rips on it, there's no snags on it, there's no bold patches, and it's perfect. There's no color transfer, there's no lightening of the bag. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, it's in perfect condition. But now I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've done to help keep it in this perfect condition. A lot of the things that I'm about to go through I already did cover in my first 2 tweed videos, so I really recommend watching those if you haven't, but I'm going to re-summarize and maybe add a couple of things here. The first thing I would say specifically for a tweed bag is to not wear it against abrasive surfaces. So I wouldn't wear this with like a studded jacket or like a distressed jacket or anything that has like spikes or like beading on it. Because those are all opportunities for the tweed fabric to like latch onto something and then get pulled or ripped off and then create a hole. So if you have like if you have a sequin dress that you want to wear, I wouldn't wear it with a tweed bag. Or if you have a studded leather jacket, I wouldn't wear that with a tweed bag. Just anything essentially with like little nooks and crannies and like embellishments that could get attached to the tweed or like get underneath a particular thread and then rip it. I would avoid. Another really particular thing about tweed bags that I think a lot of people don't think about is that because it's made out of fabric, it does retain scent and smell the way that any fabric does. So I don't know if you've ever like worn clothes and then gone to K barbecue or hot pot, and then you come home and your clothes literally smell like the K barbecue or the hot pot. Is because like all the steam in the air like gets absorbed into your clothes, so you absorb all of like the oils and the smell in the air, and then you need to wash your clothes to get rid of it. Obviously with a tweed bag you can't like wash it, so it's gonna retain that smell. You can like air it out by just like literally leaving it outside, like out of its dust bag, not in a closet, for a couple of days to try and help. But I also have just avoided taking this bag to anywhere that I know is going to be particularly smelly. So if I'm going to a night food market or festival or Korean barbecue or hot pot or literally even just like a Christmas barbecue at home, I avoid bringing this anywhere that I think there's going to be strong smells in the air, because the fabric will absorb it. I also avoid spraying perfume when I wear this bag, or spraying perfume like near this bag. So I'll always like spray perfume up here, like on my neck and on my wrist, and then wait like 10 minutes before I put on this bag. And then because I wear the bag like all the way down here, I don't really worry about the scent from up here like transferring onto the bag. But I reckon if I did like spray my whole body with perfume and any of it got on this bag, it would probably end up smelling like my perfume forever, which you think might not be the worst idea, because you're like, oh, it's gonna smell like Chanel No. 5 forever, what's bad about that? But I just think all bags, you never want a bag to have a scent, whether it's a good scent or a bad scent. So avoid perfume, avoid oils, avoid moisturizers, and avoid like taking it into environments where you know there will be scent in the air. I love Chanel Tweed. I think it's one of the things that makes Chanel so iconic and so distinctly Chanel. Like no other brand does tweed the way Chanel does. I've seen other brands like create tweed bags and I think they're still beautiful, but anybody that's in the fashion community and like knows fashion history or Chanel history like knows that Chanel is the brand for tweed. So I personally hate the bad reputation that tweed has developed for itself over time. I hate that people are like, oh, avoid tweed bags, like it's gonna damage, it's gonna be terrible, you're only gonna have it for a year and it's gonna fall apart. This is literally proof that that is not true. This bag is 2.5 years old now, and it literally looks like the day that I got it from the store. I genuinely think that a tweed bag, literally like any other bag, whether it's leather, whether it's lambskin leather or caviar leather, you just have to take care of it. I would say that Chanel Tweed really is on the same like care factor and like delicate factor as Chanel lambskin. Like I don't do anything special to this bag that I don't already do to my lambskin bags. Like when I wear my lambskin bags, I make sure I'm wearing the right clothes, the right colors, avoiding color transfer. I won't put them down like on the ground, and I'll just be that little bit more alert to make sure that I'm not gonna like scratch it or nick it or like rip the leather. That's exactly what I do for this. So if you can take care of a Chanel lambskin bag, my personal opinion is that you would be fine taking care of a Chanel tweed bag. And in my personal opinion, I think Chanel tweed bags are a little bit more special and like luxurious and just unique and sentimental than a lambskin bag. So I say go for it. Hopefully that's covered a lot of like the key questions that you guys have regarding like what is tweed, how do I take care of tweed, what does tweed look like after you've worn it a lot over like several years. I will do like a 5-year update on this bag. I feel like 2 years is not a really long time to have a bag. Like a leather bag that you have for 2 years, you wouldn't see any like wear and tear or like indication that it's like not a new bag. And I think that tweed is really similar, but I think maybe, I don't even think in 5 years it's gonna look that different. Maybe in like 10 years, the base of the bag might start to like stoop a little bit. So you can see right now it's really flat, it's really hard. I think that the base shaper really helps with that, but maybe in like 10 years this will become a little bit looser and it might be a little bit saggy. That's kind of the only thing that I'm thinking is going to happen in the next 10 years. But comment below if you think I should do like a 5-year update and a 10-year update, and then remind me again in 5 and 10 years to make that video, because I will probably forget. I really hope this video helped you guys. I really hope this video made you not scared to buy a tweed bag, because it's literally my favorite bag in my collection. I already want to buy at least like another 2 tweed bags from Chanel. I'm just waiting for like the perfect colors, because I haven't liked any of the ones that have come out recently or the ones that are coming up. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment telling me what you liked, what you didn't like. Comment below if you have specific questions that I can help answer. And yeah, I will see you again in like 5 and 10 years with another update on this bag. And I'll probably see you next week with another video on my YouTube channel about something else that you guys want to know. Thanks for watching.